Recorded live with little or no editing, it's Defense Up. I'm Round 7. How you doing? Today, we're going to be going over Normalish's defense, and we're going to jump right into it. We grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. I'm in a pretty good mood. I'm all hopped up on caffeine and cough syrup today, so we're going to go right through this. Okay, team number 1 is a Mercs team. We got Strikers. Striker on Taskmaster, huh? Okay. He does have a copy and clear effect on his basic, but you have one person putting out vulnerables and he only attacks every like 3rd turn or something. So, and you've got 3 strikers. 3 strikers and 0.3 people putting out vulnerable. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Change Taskmaster to a skirmisher. You've only got him at 1.1 anyway. Change him to a skirmisher. Change everybody else to strikers. You could leave this guy as a healer if you want. On the Shuri build, you make him a striker for sure. On this build, it's kind of your choice. He attacks every other turn. So do you want him as a healer? Do you want him as a striker? Kind of up to you. Get rid of this guy. He's trash. He belongs on Skilletary. And throw in somebody like Shuri, Ultimus, Bullseye, Korath the Pursuer, your choice, doesn't really matter. At this power level, this is kind of a filler team. I would look at this and see these screwed up ISOs and go, no way, I'm gonna roll over this. Yeah, it's not great. The one thing you've got going is it's kind of deceiving because they're all purple rings, but you do have some T4s in this team. So Taskmaster might blow somebody up in the beginning. But and it's all Mercs, so it is going to be fast out of the gates. I think Bullseye is probably going to be the best fit for you as a 5th over here. Bullseye's got great speed and synergy with these non-attacking minions. Believe it or not, he does well on this team. People underestimate it all the time. I know because you guys send me the pictures. Yeah, so we need to fully adjust these ISOs. Your placement's wonky, so we need Taskmaster to the outside, swap places with Lieutenant. Killmonger is the only one who's really okay. His placement is fine, his ISO is fine. You should probably make him war ready since you're so close. Get rid of this guy, put him on the Skilletary team, bring in Bullseye, make him war ready, get him up to an appropriate power level, get this guy's power level up to match. Yeah, this is like, I mean, it's a troublesome team. I'm gonna give you a D for this. You got a lot of work to put in this team if you want it to be serious. Otherwise, leave it as it is, as just a filler team. Okay, team number 2. This is a mishmash of stuff. Wow. Okay, so you've got Night Nurse from the Shadowlands team. You've got Doc Ock, who could be used on a good hybrid. He's off to the side. He does adjacent to flex. That's a total waste of Doc Ock. You know, you throw him in for those deflex and the flip. That's what he's all about. Yeah, Night Nurse belongs on the Shadowlands. You're going to be putting these guys on the Web Warriors, but you don't need to worry about that right now. He belongs on Power Armor. Power Armor is crap, so it's okay if you're breaking that team up. So what I would like to see is you get rid of these 2, put the other 2 Web Warriors in. You could keep Falcon in here if your Power Armor's garbage, but, you know, throw together a little bit of a Web Warrior build. Even if the other 2 are underpowered, you need to be putting her on the Shadowlands team. It's a very, very good offensive team. It's expensive, but it's very good. At this high of an investment, she's going to be keeping that team alive, even if the rest of them are pretty crappy. Just, you know, build up White Tiger and forget the rest. You know, just throw them in there and they'll get knocked down. Hopefully she'll heal them back up. But that's kind of a waste of an offensive team right there. For having such a high investment in Night Nurse, you should bring up some of the rest of the team, at least to like a 6.664 kind of level. Make them functional. Okay, yeah, so swap places with Doc Ock if that's what you want to do. You know what I do? I do OG Spider-Man, Doc Ock, then Miles, and then the other 2 anywhere you want them. But really, I just hate seeing you use these people. Let's see, Raider on Spider-Man. Okay, you already got him level 5. I think he should be a skirmisher to make the stun land. Striker on Miles is that's okay. Yeah, I think he's supposed to be a striker. Yeah, let's leave him as a striker. You could alternatively make him a skirmisher on his team, but I think striker's the way to go. Mostly, I just don't like who you're using. I don't like this composition. I think it's kind of a waste of what you could be using on other teams. The placement's terrible too, so you're not even using this one effectively. I'm gonna give you an F for this. I really don't like what I'm seeing here. It kind of just offends me that how we're using this team and who we're using. So yeah, I think get these guys off your Web Warrior team. You might think about maybe Squirrel Girl or Miss Marvel for the time being until you get Spider-Punk in there, and then keep them on defense for a week or two, and then switch them to offense once you get them really up and running, that Web Warrior team. Doc Ock's good for other hybrids, and Night Nurse is good for that Shadowlands team. Team number 3, here we go, Hydra 1.0. Let's see, Healer, Raider, Skirmisher. You've got tons of vulnerables and nobody cleaning them up. No strikers on the team whatsoever. I think since you're level 1 investment on all of these, I think the best thing you could do is switch them all over to Fortifier. Switch them all over to Fortifier. Make it that much more stubborn to get through them. Otherwise, yeah, this is kind of just a place it and forget it team. I wouldn't bother bringing them up to ISO level 4 unless you really want this team to do work. It is a good defense. I think more people should be using it. I like this team at about 400. 400 power level makes them a little bit tricky to get through, and with the right, like if you do all Fortifier, it kind of forces you to bring in like a Black Bolt or something to deal with it. But at this power level, this is just, hey, I'll put together a bunch of big junk and just smash away at it. You can probably get through it. Or if somebody has, you know, a 300k power armor, it's a sure thing to beat this team. So placement is okay. I think maybe swap places with Hydra Sniper and Red Guardian. Swap those guys, yeah. And then otherwise you're okay. Maybe make Trooper or make Hydra Sniper a striker maybe. So he's doing a little bit, I don't know. It's just such an old team. Switch them all to Fortifier, change places. I'm gonna give you a C for this team. It's not a huge waste, but there's a lot more we could do with it. Okay, Wave 1 Avengers. This is a traditional build. We got wonky placement, wonky ISOs. Okay, so what we need to do is swap places with Thor and Black Widow. Change the ISO on him to a striker, so he'll pair up with Black Widow a little better. Alternatively, you could go with a Raider. In the future, you might be pulling her off for that Skilletary team or something else that comes into the game. Rumors abound. And then I would change him to a Raider if that were the case. But when he's paired with her, Striker's the way to go. She gets called in for a lot of assists on the Skilletary team also, so I like her to be the Skirmisher. Change him to a Raider. You're going to get way more damage out of him altogether as a Raider. And then these guys are correct. Maybe swap places. Put Hulk to the outside, I think. I can't remember. No, that's fine. Make them all war ready, though, for sure. Swap places with Thor and Black Widow. Get those ISOs swapped. And then you got yourself a team. This is looking like a B-. You could put a little bit more power into some of them too. It's a good thing to have your Hulk as one of the biggest. He needs to resist the stun. If you use her on a Skilletary team, you want to replace her with Heimdall. Heimdall protects Thor from getting blinded, and it reduces one of the counters for this team. Okay, team number 5, we have a straight up Inhumans team with Coulson. I think you should get Karnak out of here. Karnak is trash. Replace Karnak with just about any other plug and play character like Surfer or Deathpool, although Deathpool's better on her team with the new Warriors. Don't do that. Let's see. Who else could we replace him with? You could put Emma in here for a cleanse. It's not really necessary. You could replace him with Squirrel Girl. Anything. Karnak doesn't do anything on this team, especially if he's not on a 5-piece. So just get rid of Karnak. He's crap. Otherwise, this is fine. You're doing pretty good. Oh, you could put Doc Ock in here. That'd be good. Yeah, go Yo-Yo, Doc Ock, and then Crystal, and then have these two. That'd make for a pretty good team right there. I think that's what you should do. You could put a little more love into Coulson, definitely make everybody war ready, but just get Karnak out of here. That's a B- for that team. Okay, 6 is Marauder with Minerva and Sue. Okay, Strife needs to be a Fortifier. Sabretooth needs to be a Raider. Sue could be a Skirmisher. You could leave her as a healer. I don't like Sue on this team, but actually, she could kind of mess him up. That's not terrible. Yeah, because first she's going to throw up barrier on everybody, which is kind of a waste. Okay, you know what? Now I'm seeing it. Okay, with Sue on this team, she's giving everybody some barrier on her first turn, so he doesn't need to be barrier. You can leave him as a healer. He's going to have plenty of barrier with her doing things. You do need to change him to a Raider, though. That Skirmisher is a waste. Actually, this ain't so bad. I kind of like how this goes. If they don't get to Sue, she'll clear like ability blocks and disrupts and stuff. Although by the time, if you're using Shadowlands, that disrupt isn't going to be a problem. That disrupt will be gone by the time she gets to turn 2 to cleanse it. But it's okay. It's an interesting build. It's different. This kind of works the way you have it set up. I think your placement is a little bit wonky. Oh, well, no, because she's so huge. Okay. Yeah, your placement's good this way. I'd say put Sabretooth next to Strife, but she's so much bigger, she could probably tank it better than Sabretooth could. Okay, so change Sabretooth to a Raider, and I can give you an A for this team. Actually, change Sabretooth to a Raider and make her war ready. And I can give you an A for this team. As is, I'm going to go A-. It's a little different. It's new. It works this way. Normally, I'd say put Fortifier on him, but with her doing the barrier, then you don't need to. Okay. All right. Not bad. Not bad. It's interesting. All right. Team number 7 is a PymTech team. PymTech sucks. I hate PymTech. Let's go. You want dad and daughter to the outside. That's Ant-Man and Stature to the outside with Yellow Jacket in the middle and Ghost on one side and Wasp on the other. They're the dodgy ones that helps the chains. So these two on the outside would be taunting, and then these two on the inside would be dodging to help prevent chain attacks going into Yellow Jacket. You have invested in the correct people. Ghost is the important one. Yellow Jacket does have some value at the higher end. He scales pretty well. I mean, he's still trash in my opinion, but you know, he's the second best anyway. There's some other things you could do, like you could replace Wasp with Squirrel Girl, so she gives a cleanse. You know, if somebody comes in here with like a disrupt team or something like that, it cleanses the disrupts so that these guys can continue to get the evades, things like that. That's something you could do. Let's see, Striker, Raider, Skirmisher, Fortifier. Those ISOs are correct. Change your placement. I can give you an A for this team. As is, it's going to be an A-. Okay, team number 8 is a Doom New Warriors hybrid. This is kind of cool. Haven't seen this one. So we've got Shuri giving defense up, helping keep Doom alive. You've got 3 strikers, 1 skirmisher, but the thing with this is that Cloak and Dagger are giving vulnerables out of their kits, and Cloak is a skirmisher. So, excuse me, you're getting plenty of vulnerables on the field, even though it's 3-to-1. So that's pretty good. ISO blue 3 across the board. This is a scary team. It'd take me a while to figure out how to beat this. You'd need lots of... I don't see a cleanse. I don't see a cleanse or a tank. So you could come in here with some ability blockers, you know, like a Zemo Surfer, right? Strip some of those positive effects and land those ability blocks where they need to land. And you could probably take that out with a Zemo Surfer team. But all in all, I mean, I'd hate using Zemo and Surfer on the same team to beat this. That would kind of irk me because I can build a lot of good teams. I could build 2 good teams with those characters. So this is really good. I like it. It's definitely not, you know, unbeatable. It's not super challenging, but it does force you to come into it with kind of wonky counters, I think. It's very scary. I think people might even waste their Eternals on it or something. So I think this is a good job. I'm going to give you an A+ for this. I like this. It's different. It's well built. You got the proper placement. It's looking good. I like it. So A+ for that. Good job. Okay, team number 9 is an Eternals speed meta team. Here's where you've got Surfer. Surfer throwing in some RNG with that ability block. People are going to have to come into this with with Loki, Zemo, Emma to beat it. I'm sorry, Loki, Cable, Emma would be the counter for this. Loki, Cable, Emma with their Eternals to beat it. So you're limiting them to a lot of stuff. So it's pretty good. And you know, if Surfer comes in and ability blocks the wrong person, it could screw some things up. You never know. I like this build. Skirmisher on Emma. That's interesting. You're not going to need the heals, so on this build, that's actually pretty good because it's another vulnerable for people to work off of. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, the healing on this team there's no point in having healers on this team. So yeah, you're getting lots of vulnerables out there for Surfer to do double taps off of. I like this build too. I think this is a great job. I'm going to give you an A for this. It's nothing new. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you an A+ for switching her over to the skirmisher on this particular build. Anywhere else you want her as a healer, but on this particular build, getting that extra vulnerable out there could give Surfer the double tap to steal positive effects, stuff like that. It could work. I like this team too, so there's another A+. Wow, you're kind of running the gambit on the scoreboard here, aren't you? Let's see here. H4H in the 400s. I don't like the purple rings, but being it's 400, people might underestimate that, so maybe that's a way to go. They are not war ready, so you've got T4s in this team, but not much gear. You don't have them war ready, so it's bringing down that overall power level. This could be deceptively screwball team, although a lot of your power is over here in Bruce Lee, and this team might fold. You might be able to come in here. You might be able to come in here with a hybrid and still beat this team if you were able to get in quick. But this team is quick. I don't know. I'm curious what T4s you have in Calling Wing. Like, if their opener is still enough to delete people, this team might be pretty deceptive and pretty good. But I don't like your ISOs. I don't like Skirmisher on Luke Cage. I like him as a fortifier because he dies and revives, and you want him to have that extra barrier, especially at this low power level. Healer over here, his health bar is minuscule. Plus, he's dying and reviving, so those rejuves aren't popping off. Plus, this team is usually getting beat by like a Weapon X that does a lot of heal block. So, healer is no good there. On this low power level, if you're not going to invest in this team, I think maybe go Fortifier on him also. Otherwise, go Skirmisher to get the vulnerable. But I think Fortifier on this version would actually be a good choice. Skirmisher here is great. Striker here is great. And then, of course, you got him as a raider. You're using him in, like, probably Dark Dimension content and raids and stuff. Well, maybe not Dark Dimension, but raids for sure. I think that you should make these guys war ready. I think you should go ahead and make them war ready. Or at least make these two war ready and then make these two fortifiers would be the way to go. So there's some things you can do to improve it, but it is deceptive, and so you get extra points for the deception of these power levels and how it's going. I'm curious about your T4 investment on this team. So, yeah. And then Wang Chung's just going to be ripping people apart. So it's pretty good. Your placement's all right. I think you should probably swap Iron Fist and Calling Wing. I'm going to give you a B+ for this team. If they were all war ready and these guys were fortifiers, I might give you an A+ for an interesting design with where your power level's at. So anyway, there it is. All right, so Normalish had a very interesting defense. And if you think your defense is interesting and you want to show it off too, then contact me, links in the description below. Hit me up on Discord. The line is getting pretty long, so get on the list quick, and then when your turn comes up, I'll contact you. Remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.